Imagine waking up tomorrow and instead of scrolling your phone, rushing, or dragging yourself into the day, you open your eyes calm, clear, and laser focused because you know exactly what you need to do to dominate your goals. This isn't fantasy. It's not motivation fluff. It's a habit, a discipline. And if you're not doing this one thing every morning, you are silently sabotaging your own potential. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'll give you a simple yet life-altering ritual that the most successful people use, often without ever talking about it. Once you hear it, you'll never see your mornings or your life the same way again. The first hour of your day holds a kind of invisible power, the power to shape everything that follows. It's not just about getting up early or having a productive morning routine. It's about something deeper, claiming control over your life the moment you open your eyes. That first hour is when your mind is most open, most vulnerable, and most ready to be shaped. If you let the world rush in too early with its notifications, its demands, its noise, you lose that sacred space. But if you protect it, if you own it, you gain something rare, a quiet but unstoppable edge. Every day starts the same for everyone, 24 hours on the clock. But not everyone uses the beginning of those hours with the same intensity, the same clarity, the same purpose. And that's the difference. That's what separates those who drift through their days from those who dominate them. The first hour is your foundation. It's the internal blueprint for the kind of day you're about to build. If you start chaotic, reactive, distracted, that's the rhythm you've already chosen. But if you begin focused, intentional, and centered, your day bends around that energy. You don't need fancy tools, apps, or 10-step checklist. What you need is ownership. The courage to decide that your day and your life starts with you, not the world outside. That might mean waking up 30 minutes earlier to sit in silence and visualize your goals. It might mean writing down 3 things you're grateful for before the rest of the world makes demands. It might mean repeating a mantra that grounds you in strength, clarity, and purpose. There's something powerful about choosing yourself first thing in the morning. It sends a message to your brain, your body, and your subconscious. I matter. My direction matters. My goals are real. That mindset is the seed. And with enough repetition, it becomes a habit. That habit becomes character. And character becomes destiny. People chase motivation all day, videos, quotes, caffeine. But the most effective people create their own momentum. They don't wait for the world to inspire them. They inspire themselves. And they do it with the rituals they build into their mornings. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's deliberate, consistent, quietly powerful. Anyone can do it. So if you want to change your life, don't start with some massive leap. Start with your morning. Because how you begin one day is how you eventually shape a lifetime. Success never shows up uninvited. It doesn't knock on your door just because you want it. It arrives when you create the right conditions, and that begins with your routine. More specifically, your morning routine. The truth is, success is not about sudden breakthroughs. It's not about a lucky moment or a one-time decision. It's about what you do repeatedly, the actions that become part of your identity. And nothing reveals or reinforces that identity more than what you do when the day begins. The people you look up to, the disciplined, the confident, the seemingly unstoppable, they don't get there by chance. They built systems into their mornings. Systems that shape their mindset before the world has a chance to interfere. They don't wake up and hope they feel motivated. They design their energy. They start with intention. They remind themselves of their mission. That's the key. It's not about how early you wake up. It's about what you do with that first stretch of time. Because if you start your day in chaos, the rest of your hours follow suit. But if you start with structure and clarity, you move differently. You make decisions faster. You respond instead of react. You create rather than chase. A powerful morning routine doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, the most effective ones are often the simplest. It might be 10 minutes of stillness, a few lines of writing, a felt declaration, reading something that challenges your thinking, planning your top 3 priorities. These are small things, but when repeated daily, they compound. And that's the part most people ignore. We're so conditioned to chase big results that we overlook the process. But real success is hidden in those quiet, disciplined actions repeated every single day, especially in the morning. When you start your day by choosing your mindset, your mission, and your movement, you begin to train your brain to follow your lead. And that's powerful because most people let their environment shape their emotions and direction. But high performers, they shape their environment by mastering themselves first. That's what a consistent morning routine does. It puts you back in charge. And it all began with what you did each morning, quietly, repeatedly, intentionally. They wake up and immediately step into stress, into reaction, into patterns of thought that keep them stuck in the same place mentally, emotionally, and physically. But it doesn't have to be that way. You have the power to take back control and reshape your mindset every single day. And the secret lies in repetition. And when you make this a daily practice, not once in a while, not when you feel like it, but every single morning, you begin to see real change. Not just in how you think, but in how you act, how you show up, and what you attract. Your life begins to reflect the thoughts you planted at dawn. And it all starts with that choice to take 5 intentional minutes each morning to rewire your mind for the life you know you're capable of living. Clarity is a superpower, and intention is the compass that gives your actions direction. Without these two forces driving your day, you fall into a trap most people live in their entire lives' reaction. You wake up, check your phone, get pulled into distractions, and spend the rest of the day responding to things that don't really move your life forward. But when you begin your morning with clear purpose, everything changes. You're no longer drifting. You're no longer scattered. You're deliberate. You become someone who doesn't just do things to stay busy, you do the right things because you know exactly what you want and where you're headed. Hey, morning gives you a blank page. Most people let someone else write the story for them, emails, social media, the opinions of others. But those who are intentional, they sit down and decide what kind of story they're going to live that day. They define it before anyone else does. That's what clarity does for you. It eliminates confusion. It silences the noise. It helps you say no to the wrong things and yes to the right ones. And the best part, it doesn't take hours of planning. It takes a few quiet minutes in the morning where you ask yourself, what matters most today? What must I move forward? Who do I want to be when I show up to the world today? These aren't just motivational questions. They're the questions that shape your behavior. Because when you know what matters, you stop wasting time. You stop chasing distractions. You start owning your time, your energy, and your attention. That's what intention gives you. It grounds you in purpose. It keeps your focus sharp. And over time, that kind of focus creates momentum. Not the frantic kind that burns out quickly, but steady, unstoppable progress that builds something meaningful. This is why the most successful people in the world obsess over how they start their day. They don't rely on willpower or motivation alone. They rely on structure, on clarity, on intentional focus. They prime their minds to attack the day, not just survive it. And you can do the same. It doesn't matter what your goals are, whether it's building a business, getting in shape, fixing your finances, or healing your mindset at all begins with how you start your day. The first thoughts you feed your mind, the first actions you take, the first energy you choose. That's what sets the tone. That's what becomes your standard. So instead of stumbling into the day, start claiming it. Wake up and declare what this day will be. Decide who you're going to be. Set your intention like you're programming the GPS of your life. Because once you know where you're going and why, the rest of the day starts falling into place, not by chance, but by design. There's a simple practice that, when done each morning, quietly separates those who merely dream from those who actually achieve. It's not flashy. It doesn't require talent, money, or special circumstances. But it does require consistency and belief. Most people are waiting for something external to change before they take action, waiting for motivation, the perfect time, or some sign that they're finally ready. But the truth is, achievers don't wait. They act. And they act from a place of identity, not emotion. They've trained themselves through daily repetition to show up with discipline, whether they feel like it or not. That kind of internal strength doesn't come by accident. It's built in the quiet moments, especially the ones at the beginning of the day. Doing one intentional thing every morning, something that reinforces who you want to become, is one of the most overlooked secrets of high performance. It could be writing your goals down, visualizing success, repeating affirmations, reviewing your vision, or even a focused 10-minute workout that demands discipline. The habit itself isn't the magic. The consistency behind it is. The act of waking up and doing it again rewires your brain. It creates a new baseline, a new identity. And over time, you stop needing motivation to act. You become the kind of person who just does. That's the real power behind a morning ritual. It's not about checking off another box. It's about reinforcing a self-image that says, I'm in control. I'm moving forward. I'm becoming. And the moment you start believing that, your actions begin to align with it. Small choices compound. Confidence grows. Clarity sharpens. You begin to recognize that success isn't some distant reward. It's something you step into every morning by choice. The difference between someone who only dreams and someone who achieves isn't their circumstances, it's their habits. It's what they do when nobody's watching. It's how they prepare their mind when the world is still quiet. Dreamers talk. Achievers build. Dreamers hope. Achievers act. And it's the morning where that line is most visible. So, if you want to change your life, don't wait for permission. Don't wait for a better mood. Pick one powerful practice. Commit to it. Make it non-negotiable. Do it even on the days you don't feel like it, especially on those days. Because that's when the gap between who you are and who you want to be starts to close. One small ritual, done daily with purpose, is the lever that moves everything. It's not just about productivity. It's about transformation. And it all begins with what you choose to do every single morning. Everything you want, every goal, every breakthrough, every transformation starts with a choice. Not a grand decision made once in a lifetime, but a small, deliberate choice made every single morning. That choice is your weapon, your edge, your moment of truth. Because how you begin your day is how you live your life. You either let the world decide for you or you wake up and take command. And when you choose to act with intention, with clarity, with discipline, you don't just change your morning, you change your identity. You stop being someone who wishes and start becoming someone who builds. So don't wait for a new year, a new week, or a better feeling. Start tomorrow. Do this every morning. Lock it in. Make it non-negotiable. And watch as your life begins to rise not by chance, not by luck, but by your own design. The power is already in your hands. The question is, will you use it?